Play one game. Good evening, buddy. How are you? How is life? How is life serving you today, my friend? Good, good. So you are making some progress. That's good. Battle is always good. Of course, you're gonna win. Of course you're gonna win. What else? What else? All right, let's start with what we stopped last night, and we need to learn this. The big shot. Good evening, buddy. I'm sorry to hear that, man, but always remember, literally, what doesn't kill you make you stronger, right? So it's good, man. You need days like that as well to appreciate the good days, right? So just ignore whatever it is, ignore it, right? Because you know that it's gonna be good. Because things always have to be good. They can never be bad, right? Just ask yourself, what can happen so badly that I can get so influenced by it, right? Nothing, right? So in simple words, don't worry. I guess, yeah, right. Dimitrov, good evening, buddy. How are you? We all have those days. Never forget that, big shot, right? We all go through those days, good and bad ones every day, right? It's a mixture, right? Max, good evening. So if it means anything to you, big shot, we all go through them. Can't hear you? I think other people hear me, so it's something about him. What happened yesterday? Nothing happened yet. I mean, I stopped. It was like 4.5 hour stream. I learned a lot, but we didn't solve it yet. And I'm very happy. I mean, we didn't solve it, but I learned a lot, so it was great. Today we continue, and if we don't solve it today, we're gonna solve it tomorrow. And if we don't solve it tomorrow, we're gonna solve it. So eventually, we're gonna solve it, right? But until we solve it, we're gonna keep getting better and better at this every day, right? So let's see. Good evening, Trev. How are you, man? Okay, let me just focus a bit on this. I just want to read this thing, and I'm gonna read it kind of out loud so we can all learn. I actually saw it. I'm very sorry, Dimitrov. I don't ignore you or anyone else. I always read the messages you guys send. I was just at work. I was at work last night. I wasn't. I was streaming, but today I was at work, so I couldn't. Most of the day at work, I'm in the meetings, right? So okay. So let's start. So before we get, so let's just read all of it, even though we know a lot of this already. But let's just see. Service worker is a background process that runs on a separate thread, blah, blah, blah. Service workers have the ability to intercept requests. Yes, the possibilities are surprisingly wide. For example, you could intercept requests for TypeScript files and compile them on the fly, or you could intercept requests for video files and perform an advanced transcoding that the browser doesn't currently support. More commonly, though, a service worker is used to cache assets, both to improve exactly. So good man, good. Not much to say. Good stuff at work, good stuff here in the stream. We're learning new stuff. So I was honestly looking forward to the stream to continue where we stopped last night, because I really want us to first solve this caching issue we have, but also I really want to master all this. I also want to read a bit of spec on service workers eventually, because it's really powerful, not just for this, right? So when someone first lands on your site, the service worker, the Vita VPA plugin, creates and installs and caches all of your HTML, CSS by leveraging cache storage. Exactly. The result is that on subsequent visits to your site, the browser will load those resources from cache rather than needing exactly. And even on first visit to your site, since the service worker just pre-cached everything, the next place your user clicks will probably be pre-cached already, allowing the browser to completely bypass the network request. Exactly, great. Versioning. You might be wondering what happens with the service worker when your code is updated. If your service worker is caching, say, a food file and you modified the file, you want the service worker to pull down the updated version next time. Exactly. But in practice, you don't have a food.js file. Usually a build system will create something like this, correct? And it's going to hash a file, also correct. If you update the food, the next deployment your site may send exactly. How does the service worker handle this? Super important. This is the issue we're having with, right? It turns out the service worker API is an extremely low-level primitive. If you're looking for a native turnkey solution between it and cache, it is basically the creation of your service worker needs to be automated in part and connected to the build system. You need to see all the assets you build created, hard code those file names into the service worker, have code to pre-cache them, and more importantly, keep track of the files that are cached. If code updates, the service worker will also change. Also, the service worker file also changes containing the new file names complete with hashes. When a user makes their next visit to the app, the new service worker will need to install and compare the new manifest with the manifest that currently is in cache, blah, blah, blah. Okay. This is an absurd amount of work and incredibly difficult to get right. Well, no shit, right? We spent 4.5 hours last night. While it can be a fun project in practice, you'll want to use an established product to generate your service worker, and the best product around is Workbox, which is from folks at Google. Even Workbox is a bit of low-level primitive. It needs detailed information about the files you're pre-caching, which are buried in your build tool. This is why we use Vita PVA. It uses Workbox under the hood and configures it with all the info it needs about the bundles that Vita creates. Unsurprisingly, there are also Webpack and Rolla plugins if you have the person working with those bundlers. Okay, sure. I'll assume you already have a Vita-based site. If not, feel free to create one. Yes, we have that, of course. Yeah, but do we really need, or maybe this article is actually very old. I don't think we need to do this anymore. The plugin itself does this, right? Okay, Let's go ahead and open fresh browser, launch DevTools, navigate to network tab, and run the web app. Everything should load as you normally expect. The difference is that you should see a whole slew of network requests in DevTools. So our service worker is pre-caching all of our bundled assets. That means it will serve those assets from cache without even needing to hit the network. Does that mean our service worker could serve assets even when the user has no network access? Indeed, it does, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's continue. This is actually pretty useful. How service workers update. Take a closer look at what happens to our site when we change the content. We'll go ahead and remove our existing service worker, which we can do in the application tab, right? Okay, actually, so let's take a look at that in production, programmer network production, right? AMX, my friend, good evening. Thank you for coming again, man. Very much appreciated. So let's go to application. Let's go to cache storage. Okay, nice. Okay, so that's a new thing. So service worker caches its stuff here. So this is essentially where our things are cached. This is really good to know, right? Good evening, Cedric. How are you doing, my friend? So this is the cache storage. Okay. So fuck. So it is. So you can see here is the index HTML, right? So here is the index HTML that it caches, right? Developer, thank you very much, buddy, for the follow. Appreciate it. So this is the cache, right? Okay, let's continue reading. We need to be more. Yeah, we need to do more of that. You also see more fit. Yeah, yeah, I'm super fit. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. Very fit, very fit. Okay, click the clear set data button to clean slowly while I'm at it. I'm going to remove most of the routes of my own set so there's fewer resources. Now let Vita rebuild the app. Look in the generate JS to see generated web server worker. Let's focus on the settings.js file. Vita generated the asset settings based on the hash of its contents. Workbox, being independent of Vita, generated its own hash of the same file. If that same file name were to be generated with different content, then a new service worker would, with a different pre-crash manifest, same file but different version. Workbox would know to cache the new version and remove the old when it's no longer needed. But this is not happening. That's the problem. This is our root problem. This is not true, right? Because clearly last night for 4.5 hours, we saw that when we push a new version, nothing really happens, right? And we can see also here, we can see that even the index HTML actually has a revision of some sort, right? So we can actually see that there is an index HTML, in fact, that we actually couldn't remove from the cache. So that's the enigma of mine right now to figure that out. But we can see those are the files we technically cached, apparently, I guess, right? Background services. If so, I can put it down. Let me know. If it's too loud, just let me know. I'll put it down. Okay, so let's keep on going. Again, the file name will always be different since we're using a bundler that injects hash codes into our file names, but supports dev environments which don't do that. It's a little loud, okay? Let me know if it's fine now. So you can actually kind of almost see, right, that the problem I actually see now, ironically, completely, right? I think that the problem that I see here now is that there's actually no index HTML. So now this this boils the fundamental question, right? Leo, good evening, my friend. So essentially here, right, we can see why is this fucking shit not formatted, man? But we can see if we take a look here that there's really no index anywhere. Assets index CSS, right? And then if I take a look at their example here, there is one, right? So maybe the index should also be cached, but it has those revisions, right? So every time we redeploy, it should, I guess, get a new one. Okay, let's keep reading, right? Because you can see here that he has index HTML in the revision, and the index HTML also has this hash, right? So that is most likely the problem. Oh, 100% it's worth it, man. I've been using it since day one, since I got the access. Yeah, he also has an HTML file in here, right? Shit, so that's really bad, really bad. So we don't really have that. Yeah, okay. So I don't think that the robot can help us here. Robot is way back in time. But index HTML does have a revision here, right? So that's a bit strange. Response type default, content lag time cached. Yeah, that's incredibly strange, right? We're doing, Leo, the same stuff as last night, just continuing the battle with the service worker, right? And we don't know if that is really the issue, right? But it's good. I mean, let's keep on learning this. I'm completely relaxed about this. I haven't seen Oppenheimer yet, but I discussed it today with my colleagues at work. They went to the cinema and they say they liked it a lot. So let's see actually now. So I have built this now. Give me 1 second. Okay, this. So now I actually see index HTML here. Super strange. Okay. Why didn't I see it before? Okay, that's a bit awkward. All right. Okay, let's try to deploy this, right? Let's go to what is it called? Change log or whatever, just so we do some update. We're gonna be just fiddling between this file, right? So vita config, let's push this. Vita battle continues. Yo, yo, yo. Good evening, Raps. How you doing, man? What is this complaining about? Ah, that we have unused variable. Fair enough. We indeed do. Let's do that. Let's push this bad boy. Did you define index HTML with workbox? So basically, Freddy, I'm using Vita PVA plugin. So I didn't define anything anywhere because this is supposed to be handled by the Vita itself, right? So I'm using this Vita PVA, and there's really no suggestion of doing anything like that, right? Please do, man. You would help us a lot. Last night, for 4.5 hours, we did this trying to find the issue, right? Because the problem is that my manual prompt, dude, if you could send me something, it would be fantastic. A huge help. It would be a huge help, man. Okay, let's. I just want basically, yeah. No, I'm using the same mic. Maybe I'm not talking directly to it. Maybe that's the issue. No, it's the same mic always. Maybe I was just not talking directly in it. I don't know. Maybe now it's a bit different. It's the same problem, yeah. Little Leon, good evening, my friend. Actually, that's not true. So what's written there isn't actually true. They are actually, in fact, injecting the revisions. I can see them here. The question is, does the index HTML have one? And it does, so that's really good. I don't actually know. It's a bit awkward, like pre-cache and route. So it's basically this thing that we're pre-caching, right? Yeah. So if I move this fella over here and try to format the document, no, so language, JavaScript, format document with prettier. Element, thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate it. So this is what we revision, and this guy we don't. So it's almost like, so the CSS file has no revision. That's super strange. Index.html has it. Good evening, Ben. How are you, man? But why is our JavaScript not here, right? Why is, like, when we do this build, right? So So it's kind of super awkward, right? So if we do the npm build, right? Sorry, pnpm build, we should actually see more files in there that are revisioned, right? It's almost like we're missing the JS, right? And that's super awkward. But maybe we're missing it maybe because there's really... Freddie, could you send me that code somewhere on Discord, maybe private message or something? Because it seems that you're using probably inject mode. I think if you take a look at your PVA configuration, you're probably using inject mode, and then you're writing your own service worker, right? That's how it looks to me based on what you said, right? Right, you're most likely using inject mode, am I correct? Yeah, you're saying yes, exactly. So basically, you're not really using Vita plugin, right? You're just using part of it, and then you're injecting your own service worker configuration, right? Which would be amazing if you're free to share. If not, it's okay, man. Got it. No worries. No worries, man. Absolutely no worries. I just still want to read this and learn, so give me a second. A better way to update content, exactly. It would be fantastic. It's unlikely that you can get away from serving stale content to your users until they happen to close all their browser tabs. Fortunately, the Byte PVA plugin offers a better way. The register SV function accepts an object with another. Yeah, but I'm already doing this and it doesn't work. That's the problem. We've seen that pre-caching we get for free with PVA build assets. What about caching any other content we might request at the runtime? Yeah, so this is what you're basically doing, right? It's for progressive web app, to adding service worker and turning your app to progressive web app. Well, I mean, if you don't know what service workers are, basically they're just interceptors, basically. So it's a way when you send requests to some HTTP service, they can intercept and cache your files and do a lot more stuff than that. But and then there's a lot to it, right? So, but in simple words, they're a way to, in our context, they're a way to turn the application into progressive web application, which means support add offline support, and expose some native APIs to it. So one strange thing that I can see, right, if I take a look at this, right, I don't see our JavaScript files here at all. So it could be just as well that could be a problem, because our index HTML is in fact revisioned. It has this hash generated, but I don't actually see the JavaScript files, right? And that's kind of worrying me, right? So if we nuke all this, if we go to service workers and unregister this, and then we go to this cache and refresh, let's see what's gonna get, right? So it's not really caching our JavaScript files at all, in fact, right? Which means, and then when we take a look at this kind of great, amazing article we have here, right? You can see that they are in fact here pre-caching. This pre-cache just means it's metadata about which files you want to be actually cached, right? And we can see that JavaScript files are actually not here, which is super strange, right? If I actually, give me 1 second. If I go back to history, I think at one point I was attempting something. Let me just go back like shit tons of commits back, because last night we tried a lot of stuff. Yeah, right. So global patterns, so like, hey, include all of this, right? But okay, so let me just, so the fundamental question now here is like, even with this, when I say include those things, right? Am I saying from where exactly? So maybe, amazing, man. Give me 1 second. Thank you so much for that, man. I'm gonna take a look at that in a moment. I just wanna attempt. Dude, I completely get it. I wouldn't. Thank you very much, man. Just actually by trying to help, you already helped a lot. So thank you. Okay, give me a moment here. So just need to go few kind of steps back in history. Exactly right. So global patterns. Yes, I think that's it, right? So basically, if we do the workbox, right? So if we go here and say, hey, workbox, and now we actually do this fellow, we're saying, hey, ignore all the source maps, right? And then include everything in the cache, right? PNGs, JavaScript, all of that stuff. If we try to pm build again, hopefully now in our pre-cache, we should see, we should actually see the JavaScript files as well, right? Let's see. Super strange though that they're not visible there, right? Already. Why an ad? You should ask Twitch. You should ask Twitch that. Um. All right. So let's take. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, I still don't see my JavaScript files here, man. That's super scary. So you can see we cached shit tons of things, and that's good. So now we're technically caching everything, right? But why are we not? So that could be a huge problem, actually, right? I have 0 ads enabled on this channel, and I never will have any, right? It's just FYI. So if you're getting ads, that money is going to them 100%. Nothing to do with me, right? Unfortunately, fuck, man. So we can see actually that nothing from the assets is being cached, is it? It is actually, but why is it not caching JavaScript files? That's super fucking strange, man. What is happening? Why is it skipping this file? So it's literally skipping the most important file, which is our app, basically, right? Is it doing that on purpose? I'm just gonna try a few things here, right? All right. Maybe that's the problem. I'm implementing a service worker and then trying to push the web app as a progressive web app to Android store. Dude, like what the fuck is happening, man? Why is it ignoring? Why is it not? So this has to be an issue, man, right? Why is it not caching this file? Why are we not adding this in a pre-cache, right? What the hell, dude? So that could be an issue. Wow, okay. Oh man, fuck, is it maybe due to the dude? Oh shit, man. Is it maybe due to the cache size limit? Wait. What is the default limit, right? Yeah, that's what I did already, right? Weren't there some limits on the file size, right? Limit. That's the fucking issue, man. Because our bundle is greater than 2 megabytes. Where can we increase that? I know that you did, yeah. But where is that? Good evening, Lip Lunge. How you doing, my friend? Where was that? This feature is not yet. Where was that? Global patterns. Do you remember where did we find that? Nice, man. Very good to hear, man. Keep hacking, man. Just keep building it. Good, man. Good. Just dealing with it. We're about to push programmer network to Android store, and we're just now kind of this week we're gonna be dealing a lot with a progressive web app, right? Because now you can deploy web applications to iOS store, to Android store as an almost as a native app, right? How powerful that is, right? How crazy that is, right? Man, where did you find this drop the database? Where the hell did you find that crap, man? Dudes, are you kidding me? Come on, find it. You have 3 seconds, man. Instantly. Yeah, but I think he found the limit in here. And Panosa, good evening, buddy. No, but this is a different thing. This is a different thing, Panosa. So the PVA thing literally has a limit on the files that it's going to cache. And my suspicion now is that I'm like almost certain now, because the only file that we're not caching is the actual it's my JavaScript file, right? And my suspicion is that it's not doing it because if I take a look at this list, right, the only file that's missing is my application. It's my bundle, and I have only single bundle. And the only reason for that, it has to be, right, it must be the size of the bundle, right? Probably we can, right? But that's a different subject, right? Well, actually, I did that before with the code splitting, right? But that introduced some other issues, right? Vice PVA cache file size limits. Yeah, yeah. What the fuck? Here it is. Yeah, it won't be pre-cached. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's my suspicion, right? Yeah, here it is. Here it is, man. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Literally, literally, literally my suspicion, right? Oh my fucking god, it even said here. It even said it here, man. Are you kidding me? Asset index, blah, 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 won't be pre-cached. Jesus Christ, man. I mean, we have only, we don't have a vendor file, right? So this is a it's a single JavaScript file with all of the code, right? It doesn't matter. Let's. I don't give a shit about that right now, right? It doesn't bother me. Now it's here. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. Okay. Let's try this. I don't think that we actually need. Oops. I don't think that we need this. Let me just do it once more. I cannot be less worried about having a single JavaScript file that's 2.5 megabytes, right? I mean, that's not something that bothers me at all, right? Because again, you visit the site, that gets cached, and you don't care anyway, right? So yeah, it's here. Okay, beautiful. Those are development dependencies. Of course, they're big. Okay, let's go. Let's go over here. Backlog, backlog. Where is it? Beautiful. Oh man, it would be super nice if one of those things were the issue. Let me just actually take a look at another thing here quickly. By the way, Panosa, are you there? Are you there, my friend? So last night, after I ended up the 4.5 hour stream, right? Um, I don't care right now. So actually, last night after I ended up the stream, I realized that actually we had already a React hook that we can also implement. So instead of me building a, we'll see. Maybe reps, maybe, right? Maybe. I mean, maybe, right? I hope so. I hope so. So you have to kind of, so reps now as you're learning to program, right? You have to kind of you have to shift your perception towards. I know that you're kidding, of course. The thing is, it didn't take 2 days to update this. It took 2 days to learn a lot of stuff, right? And yes, we're gonna implement push notification. Push notification is the next thing. So reps, it was more about learning how PVAs it works currently with the rest of the system, right? So you can say, oh, it took you 2 days to increase the cache to whatever. No, not really. No, it took us 2 days to learn a lot of stuff, right? So it's amazing, right? That's what this job is about, right? No, I don't think that I'm going to use a library. No, I think I'm going to use just the native push notifications API, right? So I think, uh, what was it? Where is it? So I'm just going to use, or what is it? Web push notification. I don't remember the spec, right? But yeah, I think it's this guy, right? All right, beautiful. Okay. Okay, let me just see one thing very quickly here. Okay, good. Wait. So I think actually that we are updated already. I think that it kind of worked. I think. Yeah, we'll double check in a moment, right? But I can see shit tons of files now cached. We should also see the JS file somewhere here, right? Here we have it now. That's amazing, right? That's beautiful. So that's really good, right? That's perfect. So let's now actually go to, we're just fiddling with this changelog file, right? I'm just changing it just so we have some code changed. So let's just say here, changing this just because I can, right? All right, let's do this. We need to actually commit it. Commit. Let's just say uh, trigger deploy. All right, beautiful. Nice. Okay, beautiful. Super. Okay, I'm kind of okay. Let's see. Sako, I just started streaming. Actually, fuck, I started streaming 50 minutes ago. I think so. Let's see. I think we're almost there. So let's not jinx it. Let's not jinx it. Let's just see. And good evening, my friend. How are you? Let's see. It's very slow, right? Because we have to deploy it every time. So we would have probably solved it already. Like just fucking annoying. Every time I do something, I need to wait 3 minutes for CI to finish, right? Um, let me just lift up the desk. I need to stand a bit. One sec. Beautiful. One sec. I just have to say, if you're standing a lot at home, like I bought this thing on Amazon, it's basically a standing soft material. I can send it to you. It's a lifesaver, right? That's already happening. That's already happening today on general. That is already happening. All right. All right, this shit is building. Let's see. Let me close this crap. Ah, shit, I shouldn't maybe. Yeah. Yeah, in general. In general. It's happening in general, yes. Numinix. Yeah, no robot past few days. Robot cannot help us here. How are you doing, Numinix? How are you, man? Robot is on vacation, exactly. All right, so let's see. Shit, I don't see the notification. That worries me. Why am I not seeing that notification now? Watching you break things as usual. Fair enough, fair enough. Fuck, man. Okay. So why, let's see now. Why are we not getting stuff still? Service worker. Is it waiting for something? So received 10.16.37, right? So it didn't get, was this actually deployed? It was? Is it maybe, okay, shit. Preview response. Okay, so let's see what the JS file is here. JS, beacon bullshit, whatever. Yeah, so this is the hash now. Let's actually see here what was the hash that was actually deployed. So it was FC9534. So we can still see that it actually isn't really working, right? We're still getting cached crap. Shit. Fuck. Hmm. Interesting. Okay. And then if we go to application, if we go to cache storage actually here, right? Let's see. Let's search for index HTML. So this is the revision time cached 10 p.m. I assume. So basically, if the service worker, as far as understood, was even waiting, right? Yeah, but why? That's the whole point, Freddy, right? I should at least get a prompt to update it, right? Of course, I can do that manually, right? But why would I do that manually, right? I mean, what does that solve, right? That's not the point. Of course, if I update the service worker, right, it's gonna work, right? If I unregister and update, right? But that's not the point. The point is when I deploy a new app, users should get this notification like, hey, how about you actually go ahead and right? So that is the problem we're trying to solve. Of course, I can, right? If you're not if you're seeing blank screen, just do a hard refresh and you should be good, or clear your cache. So we can still see that this is an old file, I think, right? Shit. You're getting a notification. Interesting, but why am I not getting it? Why am I not getting it, right? Yeah, exactly. Now, if you click refresh, so Numinix, can you click refresh, then go to application, then go to cache storage, and let me know if you're seeing a JavaScript file with this specific cache. Give me a moment. Let me know if you can, Numinix, take it, tell me if you can actually find that file in your cache, right? So if you go to cache storage and here, right? Let me know here in the search if that's the actual JavaScript file that you see. Exactly. So you have it correct. Fuck. So what is going on with my browser? Let me go to Firefox. Let me go to Firefox and let me go to Programmer Network. Right. Well, no. I mean, at this point, it should have. Yeah, here it is. A new version of the page. Right. So yeah, here it is. Right. If I take a look at the service worker, right? Okay. So if I click refresh, interesting. Okay. Ah, all right. But to some degree, I can kind of no, to some degree, I can kind of even understand why it might be not working now because this is a very old build that was broken, right? But if I go ahead now, so if I just do another change here, right? And then deploy, now I would expect this to work in some shape or form, right? So let's just say here, trigger build, right? Chica, good evening, my friend. How are you? Okay, so yeah, let's try to trigger another build. Let's go to our Chrome actually, right? Let's go here. So strange, man. Like, I swear to God, at this point, I don't think we even did anything wrong, right? I wonder if I should get rid of this shit. Sudo Kaimak on Windows. Nice, man. Content type application manifest plus JSON. So that is actually correct, yes. All right, let's see. So, like, what else is left for us to do? That is the biggest enigma right now, right? So we tried all sorts of things. This thing, we have increased this stuff. We're including all of the assets. We can actually see them. So this time, right? Last night we didn't actually include all of the stuff properly, but I can see the things included now. Like all of the assets are actually in the pre-cache, right? So this is the pre-cache, right? And we can see that the index HTML, pretty much what Panosa and I discussed last night, we can see that the index HTML also has a revision, right? And this hash updates basically every time when you do a new deploy, right? So the index actually now, so remember last night we discussed is like 25 gold, good evening, buddy. You remember last night, we discussed is like how come that they're caching index HTML, because I didn't know that they're also revisioning it. And we weren't revisioning it last night, that's true, but we are revisioning it today, right? So now there is a revision order of headers, maybe, right? I don't actually know. I mean, this is like a random attempt to kind of, right? So this is gonna apply, this is a wildcard, right? So this is gonna apply those headers to everything, and then this is saying on those three, use no store, and then on those guys, just set immutable thing, right? So it doesn't seem wrong to me, right? And then also just when it comes to this PVA notification that you guys see, I'm not doing anything custom. I'm importing this hook that this PVA library is exporting, right? And then when you click refresh, what I do is I call this update service worker. And this is actually literally copy pasted from their documentation, right? So this is almost, except the UI part, the looks, this is literally, this is updated from, this is copy pasted from their documentation. Okay, upload complete. I refresh. Now the question is this now maybe like a Cloudflare cache or some shit? I don't know, right? Let's try to close the browser. Let me open the browser. Let me open Programmer Network again. No, I should already be able to see it, right? Yeah, I mean, at this point, I should already be able to see it, right? But I don't, right? Where's the storage? Let's go to cache storage, Programmer Network. Yeah. So let's see the cache here. So here's the HTML page, right? With a specific revision. Oh, you did have it as well, Freddy. Okay, I see. I see. That doesn't sound encouraging at all, actually. Is it maybe that? Is that maybe the problem? I mean, let's just review it together, right? Let's just review it together, right? So basically, I took the example from here, right? I didn't do much. Reload prompt, import the hook, on register. So actually, let's do one thing just for fun. Maybe Panosa, let's also check that, maybe. So what I'm gonna do, actually, I'm going to pass those two things just so we actually get some logs, right? So let me actually do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's say R, and let's say error here, right? But why does it return 308? We'll actually also have to, so let's do this. I mean, could that even be possible? And why am I doing the prime redirect? Get rid of redundant 308 redirect. I'm migrating our gets byte to Netflix. My website is currently hosted. We have We had a clean URL structure, Netlify without slash at the end, and I want to keep it that way for the best SEO performance. HP, good evening. Are you the fella from YouTube? Okay, let's see what's happening. This has been raised with the team. Is there any way we can monitor the status of this issue? Ah, got it. Okay. No update, okay. No, I think this is correct. What is the problem? I think this is okay. I mean, basically, it's using index HTML as a URL parameter, so it's trying to fetch the user called index HTML. I mean, should we validate that, right? I have me on LinkedIn. Nice. So, I mean, should we solve this somehow? Probably, right? But now you're just trying to get the user with the username, index HTML, and then you're trying to get the articles by the user called index HTML, right? But yes. Okay, so this is deployed. If I refresh, or actually let's close the browser and open it up again. No, nothing. No. No, nothing. Power BI, let me actually check if I know what that is, honestly. Power BI, yeah, I know, because I mean, I don't know if you know, I work at Dream Data, right? So we're building a product. I work for a similar company, right? This is where I work, so you could kind of say it's kind of similar. Well, it's not similar at all, but I think we even shit. Give me a second. I think I closed the chat. Give me a moment. Let me get back to it. Let me get back to it in a second. I actually remember Power BI, but give me a moment. Just before we get to that. My pleasure, man. Okay, so honestly now, thank you very much, dude. Likewise. Please come back whenever you have the time. Thanks a lot, man. No, but I don't. Yeah, I mean, now we're into the land of something. Exactly. Now we're a bit in an unknown land here furthermore, right? So I'm not really happy doing this now because we're assuming now that this has anything to do with redirects, right? And I mean, let me actually see if I see the redirect at all. Where is the 308? Let's see. Yeah, I don't see any 308s here. No, I don't think I did. Maybe, I don't freaking know. Sratan Božić. Uh, so Panosa, like, what the hell, man? I genuinely think that at this point in time, we're doing everything right. And yet, we're still where we are now. I just wonder if let me just go to Cloudflare once. Let me just wipe all the cache from Cloudflare, even though I'm certain that's not the issue. But let me go here. Let's just purge this. Please allow up to 30 seconds. Yeah. All right. Now I'm getting this crap. Now I'm getting this. Can you refresh the page now, Panosa? Can you refresh the page? So now, after I've cleared the cache, I'm seeing 2 revisions. And probably if I go to the service worker, yep, look at this. So now if I click this, there we go, right? I think that's it. So it seems to me that it was cache. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Now, the main question is, like, we can do this pretty optimized, if I may, right? Because didn't they say that they have an endpoint for purging? And this endpoint, right, I think you can specify the file that you want to purge. So what if we just, let's say, what if we just purge index.html, right? So so imagine this workflow. After deploy, we do a webhook, we call this endpoint, and we just purge index.html. How does that sound? Well, how come Luminix, right? I mean, if I have to purge cache and then service worker actually sees the new files, where is then the problem? Let's try to think out loud. Let's try to brainstorm, right? So I have cleared the cache and then I refreshed and then service worker got the new files. Crow, thank you very much, buddy. Right? So it doesn't seem like, so why would I'm actually, fuck. It kind of doesn't make sense, right? Because you know why it doesn't make sense is, like, why would the cache matter? Because after we deployed this stuff, right, then technically service worker should have gotten a new page to load new script files, right? But maybe even after the deploy, it was getting the old index HTML from Cloudflare, right? How do we think about this correctly? I don't actually know genuinely, right? Give me 1 second. Also, not to mention, right, that we have disabled, we have no cache. So technically, this should. Give me 1 second. Let's use the robot for the first time today just to validate this. Is this a valid Cloudflare pages configuration? I would like to remove index HTML from being indexed by Cloudflare. Oh wow! Actually, we use the fucking version. This version of ChatGPT is so bad. It's tragic. It's literally tragic. Okay. Set your page rule. So we already have this, right? Okay, so let's configure this. Let's check this out again. So if I go to caching and then overview, right? No, sorry. If we go to caching configuration, we have determined the length of time Cloudflare instructs a visitor browser to cache file. During this period, the browser loads the files from its local cache. Respect existing headers, right? So that's what we have now. And I think that's correct. Do we have anything else? So I wonder, is it in the index? Yeah. So they're claiming that they're not caching the main page. So those guys are claiming that. That's what they claim. How would we do that? Give me a second. So this is the structure of it, right? So that would be, right, something like this, right? Like this, maybe. Andy, thank you very much, buddy. Maybe this. Okay, let me read. Dynamic Cloudflare does not consider the asset eligible to cache, and your Cloudflare settings do not explicitly instruct Cloudflare to cache the asset. Instead, the asset was requested from the origin web server. Use page rules or cache rules to implement custom caching of. So what does that even mean? Okay, let's try to trigger another build. Yeah, but we're not even trying to do that, right? Keep in mind, this is so. I think one fundamental thing that I learned, right, is that there's a difference between Cloudflare cache and Cloudflare pages cache. Let me tell you what I mean, because that's what we read last night, right? So let me read it for you. Pages comes with built-in caching defaults that are optimized for caching as much as possible while providing the most up-to-date content. Every time you deploy an asset to Pages, Cloudflare Pages, the asset remains cached in the Cloudflare CDN until your next deployment. Therefore, you should avoid setting page rules. So we didn't do that at all. If page rules or other cache settings are used on your custom domain, that may lead to stale assets being served after a new build. You can resolve that by selecting caching configuration in the dashboard to ensure the latest build gets served. For browser caching, pages always send etag header response, which the browser then returns if non-match header and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but does that apply to this is the question, right? Because this is not Cloudflare Pages, is it? So basically they're saying use page rules or cache rules, right? So they are in fact saying if you want to alter this dynamic behavior, you have to do it here, right? So that's basically what they're saying, right? Give me a second. I think they're actually saying that it does get altered, right? Sure, sure, but I think you're 100% right, and I think we can in fact alter it. Isn't that what they're saying? Give me a second. Go to caching cache rules. Caching cache rules. Where is the cache page? No, this is page rules. Where's the cache rules? Cache rules, yeah. So here we should be able now to create, say, name, don't cache index HTML, right? Then bypass cache, right? So yeah, so bypass cache, right? Deploy. This is now deployed, right? Now at this point, it might be too late. Maybe we need to do another push. But let's actually see now what's happening, right? Okay, let me unregister manually now, just because I think we were slightly late. Let me actually, in fact, go here. Let me just remove all of those files, right? I guess I could just clear the cache completely, but... So this is doing the pre-caching now. That's why so many requests. I wonder if this expression is correct. Do you need slash in the beginning? Good question. I don't know, honestly. Maybe, right? We probably do. Right? We probably do. Okay, now we get this thing, but I don't know if this is the result of the previous deploy or this one, right? So I think that's a bit meaningless now. And I also had another tab open. So if I close them all and come back, also we'll definitely need to push another build now, right? But can we actually check now, Panosa, what is the header of that now? Can you check now that for me? Where did you see that dynamic header? Can you tell me? Cache control, no store. But where do you read that crap, man? Dynamic what? Where is it? Network root request. What is the root request? Yeah, but you mean the home, this one, right? Okay, I see. But maybe the URL is wrong then. Or Wait a minute. So that's wrong, right? This is the URL. We can't have the URL, right? Because, right, I think, so, I mean, probably if I say slash home, this is going to work, right? But then this would only work on slash home, right? Wait, it still says dynamic, right? So maybe instead of bypassing it, right? Should we try setting something else? Cache key, maybe. No, no, no. I wonder if I should put the whole full URL here. I don't think that makes any difference, right? I mean, let's just give it a shot. I mean, who knows, right? I don't know. Shit, I wanted this to be an or, not and. All right. But it still says here cache control, no store, right? Yeah, maybe, right? Maybe. But either way, right? I mean, how do we now know, right, if this is correct or not, right? That is the fundamental issue here, right? Exactly. Thank you very much for the follow, man. Appreciate it. Shit. Contains, right? Let's maybe try the contains, right? Yeah, but I did put it without star as well, right? So we have a version without star, right? So we have a version without star anyway, right? Hmm. And the same too. Okay. Yeah, but this SV thing isn't even pre-cached. Let's actually see. Maybe it is, but which one is it then? Mock service worker. Maybe. Yeah, the SVJS isn't really cached at all, right? I guess. But yeah, this doesn't. Yeah, but how is it even called? Have you tried to get it here? Like, what is the? Are we actually are loading some service worker file? Which one is it? I don't see it. So let's see. What is this? Cloudflare, Cloudflare, Cloudflare. This is our own bundle. Yeah, so the only thing I see, it could be this, but I don't see the assets here at all. And is this cached? But this is the workbox window. I don't think that it's so I don't think so. Where is the service worker? I mean, when we like, I don't see file being loaded over network, right? Jesus Christ, man. So what is happening then? What if we say matches regex? Can we do something like this? Same, man. Same, Panosa. Exactly. It is possible. Yes, it is possible. Let's do that. It is possible. Yes. That's a very good idea as well, actually. Let's do that right away. Cache rules. No, no, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to go here and I wanted to turn on development mode, right? So what we can do, we can turn this development mode on that disables all the cache, right? So now technically the cache is disabled, right? Maybe we have to wait a second, right? So the cache is now disabled, right? So the cache is now disabled. Um, all right, let's do another deploy. Now we have literally disabled, fully disabled now the cache on so there's no cache on Cloudflare anymore. So it's completely gone. Drop the database, man. See you tomorrow, buddy, if you're around. Thank you very much for being here. Thanks a lot, man. Just stretching a bit. Sorry. Okay. Where was this crap? Where was our build running over here? Right? Okay. Oh, this failed. What? Okay, interesting. You mean your conference is a bounty? Nice, man. Of course it's gonna go well. Why wouldn't it, right? All right, let's wait for this fella to finish. That's very good reps. Yeah, dealing with state is generally, I wouldn't say hard, but it is something that's gonna take time to fully, right? No, you can't leave me now, Panosa. You can't leave me now, bro. Do not do that. You are not allowed to leave me now. You're not allowed. I know. I know. I know. And I'm just kidding. Of course, man. I fully get you. So okay, so now we're getting a new version of this page is available, right? All right, I'm just gonna try this once again. And then if it works, what I'm actually going to do, and I'm not going to do that today, I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm going to implement that Cloudflare purge. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to go to Firefox as well. Yeah, I instantly got it in Firefox as well. Instantly. I also got it in Chrome as well. And boom, it works. Yeah. So this one has now the latest. This one has the latest build, right? So let's see now. So when this build is triggered, then we can see if it's going to work. So basically, I think what I'm going to do, I don't see the other way, right? I just don't know if it's the index. For first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this caching rule because it doesn't do anything, and I don't want to leave something there that I don't understand. That's number one. Number two, I think what I'm gonna do maybe later, I might actually sit off stream later a bit, try to implement some sort of a webhook or whatever, or some serverless function that's gonna call that API endpoint for purging the cache. And I'm gonna just say, hey, whenever I deploy Cloudflare pages, purge index HTML or something. If we can only, if the index HTML is the problem and we can just purge that, then that's fantastic, right? Let's see now. Let's yeah, it worked also. It worked both in Firefox and Chrome for me as well. Let's just see here again. This is going to be huge, right? Fix, because again, keep in mind this isn't. We're not. I am still using the develop. I'm still. We still have it enabled. Yes, we still have it enabled. Yes. All right. So we have this now. I refresh. I don't know if it should appear immediately. That's just temporarily Panosa because I in the Vita config, right? I'm just telling it to include everything. I just wanted to remove any, so I'm just saying include every single thing from the public folder, right? So we're gonna remove that, right? I just wanted to like just inject everything so you can see we instantly get it. We instantly get it. Most likely if I go to Firefox, I'm gonna instantly get it there as well. And there we go. That's the issue. So Cloudflare. So yesterday we had two issues. Our Vita wasn't configured properly for sure, I think. And then on top of that, it's Cloudflare cache as well. Yeah. The only thing that I want to do now is test this. In fact, I want to test this. Matty, my friend, thank you very much for the sub again, dude. 9 months. Jesus Christ, dude. That's crazy. 9 fucking months, dude. Good to have you here, man, again. So we solved it, guys. I mean, that's the issue. Now, love you, Panosa, man. Fucking love you, dude. Sleep well. So basically, I'm gonna also write an article on this and do a video, right? especially with this combination of things, I'm going to just create a empty repo, and we're going to do this in that video just so we can also document it in a video style. But so what I'm next thing that I want to try, so this is going to be the last resort. So what we can do now is we can say, hey, when pages are built, try to call some hook or whatever, and then purge the cache, but don't purge all of it. Don't purge images and stuff, right? Just purge index HTML, for example. I think that should be sufficient. I think that's where the issue is, right? So I think if we can say, but that is kind of also the danger. Maybe we should just purge everything, right? Because we don't know. Because if we just purge index HTML, what is then the service worker going to do, right? So this is now kind of what we have to figure out. That's the next thing. And yeah, so if I get here, this is still kind of waiting, right? So if I go here, you can see that our new service worker basically is waiting to be activated, right? So now when we click refresh, you'll see that the old one is going to be killed and the new one is activated. And if I go here, probably it did like shit tons of requests again just to re-download all of the files from the pre-cache, right? And that's what Panosa was suggesting, is like, why are we downloading, 25 different images just now while we were figuring this out, right? Sakor, if you're leaving, good night, my friend. Thank you very much for everything. Yeah, but this is not true, man. They're stating something that's simply not correct. They're stating that monthly bat waits for you. Sleep well, my friend. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, so maybe this is something that we could use. How do we do this? Under purge cache, select custom purge. The custom purge window appears under purge. Select URL. Enter the appropriate values in the text field using the format. So what we could actually test now before I round up for today, I think, is this, just to identify and maybe narrow down the issue fully, right? So what I should go down and do, I'm going to disable the development mode, right? And then as they claimed here, if we go to purge cache and then custom purge, here we can say, hey, so because we're on a free plan, we can really just purge a single by URL as they're claiming here, right? So what we're gonna do now, actually, we will, since now we do actually have the cache enabled back, this progressive web app should, yeah, not properly work, or in simple words, it should mega cache everything. actually refresh this. It's a bit strange that I actually got this, but it's whatever. So I'm gonna unregister. I'm gonna clear the site data, right? That's great. And then what I'm going to do, I'm gonna go to the app and I'll just do another trigger. I'm just gonna trigger this again. Trigger new build, right? Actually gonna add this to trigger the new build. Then I'll push this. So basically, if we could isolate this issue to be on the index HTML, if we could do this, meaning if this page is an actual issue, then that's perfect. Then I could just implement, then I could either spend a bit more time fiddling with some of the rules maybe, or just implement that API. Let's wait for that to be finished. Let me just close up some of this crap here so we don't get distracted. Purge, yeah, exactly. And then here's the endpoint that we could technically call. How could we do that though? Let's figure that out. Is there some functions that we can call after the deployment is done? Functions enable to integrate with the workers directly. Wait, Cloudflare pages hook on build. Deploy hooks, okay? Beautiful. Okay, great, great, great. Let's see about that in a second. Where is it? Deploy hooks, bindings, where? Shit, where was it? Where is it? Log into Cloudflare account. In account home, select workers and pages. Workers and pages, yes. In overview, select pages project. Isn't that where I am? In overview, select pages, yeah. Go to settings, builds and deployments. Add deploy hook. Here it is, okay? Automatically trigger branch deployments for headless. No, but that's not what I want. I want the opposite. I want a post hook, right? When the build actually finishes, right? All right, let's see. But let's test this one first. So where is this fella that we were building actually? So if we go back here, let's see if this was built. So the build is actually finished. If I refresh this, it should actually show us nothing, right? It should not show us the banner, right? Okay, let's now try purging just the index HTML. I don't know if this is the correct thing. Let's say purge. We'll go there again, just in case this didn't work. And I think it takes around 30 seconds or so for the cache to propagate or to be removed. Hmm. Yeah, I don't actually see it happening yet. Give me a second. Maybe because, shit, because we have another tab opened, right? Maybe let's try this. Interesting. What if we do this? We get over here. Yeah, but shit, I don't know which build does this have now, right? What does it have in the actual cache? So that is confusing, right? So if we take a look at, let's say, index or nodejs, index HTML, there's like 3 revisions now. So maybe if we refresh this, we should get it now as well. No. Let's actually go here. Let's check those. Let's check the local cache here, cache storage. Let's say index HTML. So it has EAEA. So it's this one. And then this guy has like 3 more revisions. So why don't we see that in Chrome? All right. And what happens if I just, okay, what else could we purge? Any assets in Cloudflare cache that match the URLs exactly will be purged. So exactly, okay. Interesting. Thank you very much for the follow, man. I appreciate it. So yeah, so that kind of brings the question, did we purge the index HTML, right? Or did we not? Because I suspect that if I go and just purge everything, right? So we need to figure out what it is that exactly we need to purge. And I guess it is the root file. Let's see now in a second, once the actual cache is purged. And there we go. So we can clearly see, right, that fuck. And we can't really target the JavaScript files directly, right? Because they're dynamic, right? Bo, thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate it. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna round up now, but I think we solved it. So tomorrow I'm gonna round it up, or maybe I might even sit now a bit, just off stream. But in simple words, I'm gonna make a YouTube video on this soon of combination and apparent issues here that we have. But I'm gonna spend a bit more time trying to solve it without calling this endpoint and this purge thing, right? So let's see what I can make the video of, and maybe some article here on Programmer Network actually. How many of you have signed up today? 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice. All right, let's round it up. What is to say? Thank you everybody for being here as always. Thank you to the new people as well who came and participated in this stream. I'll see you guys tomorrow again, same time in the evening. And what is to say? Another day tomorrow, another battle. And have a great one. Enjoy yourselves. And as always, be well. Matty, thank you, man. Thank you for the sub as well, and thank you for coming around. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We continue with this, and then I'm gonna aggregate this in a YouTube video. So for those of you who didn't spend, 15 hours in our streams on this, you'll be able to get like a 30-minute video of all of the stuff we learned. So I think it's gonna be actually pretty useful progressive web app experience. So I'll catch you guys up tomorrow. Have a great one. Be well, and yeah, thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Peace out. Cheers. Bye-bye. Bye.